Dumb Money was everything that I wanted it to be. It was 2 hours of me wishing I had invested in GameStop. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. We're going to be talking about Dumb Money. This was my #1 most anticipated film for the rest of the year. The cast looked fantastic, the trailer looked fantastic, and the whole situation looked fantastic. In Dumb Money, you have Paul Dano, who plays Keith Gill, a little nobody that spends his time analyzing the GameStop stock because he feels like the company is undervalued and he might have something there that the big guys over at Wall Street really don't see. So he spends a majority of his time uploading videos on YouTube talking about why he feels like this could be a good thing to get people invested in. And that brings us to the diamond hands, where if he sells, everybody else sells. And this movie was absolutely fantastic. What Craig Gillespie was able to do with this movie was give us a really tamed down version of The Big Short and make it very accessible to a lot of people by throwing a lot of information at people without them getting lost in the information. And Paul Dano is absolutely fantastic in this movie. He is an underrated actor. The first time that I saw him was in Prisoners, and ever since then, I have been addicted to this guy because every single time that he shows up and delivers a dynamite performance. And the relationship that he has with Shailene Woodley, who plays his girlfriend or as his wife, is fantastic. They both have great chemistry. Pete Davidson is his brother that is kind of the screw up. They have a really tough love relationship with each other, which is relatable to me. You also have America Ferrera, who plays a nurse who isn't very social. She's not very outgoing. She's very shy. She has a tough time communicating to people, which is also relatable to me because I'm not really that well with interacting with people. And then you also have Anthony Ramos, who plays a GameStop worker with a dickhead boss played by Dan DeHaan, which is fantastic to see that he is getting a lot more work because I feel like The Cure for Wellness and The Amazing Spider-Man 2 kind of bit him on the ass, so it's great to see him be on screens again. And then you have these two college girls who are knee deep in college debt, which if you've been to college or are thinking about college, well, this is going to be relatable for you. And the direction for this movie is absolutely fantastic. You also have Seth Rogen, who plays the CEO of Melvin Capital, Nick Offerman, who plays the CEO of Citadel, and Sebastian Stan, who plays the CEO of Robinhood. And while Sebastian Stan doesn't have a lot of screen time in this movie, he pops in and out every now and then. He was absolutely fantastic. You see the situation go down, you see what happens from beginning to end, how everything started to transpire, what made this guy successful, and what made Wall Street hate this guy. And what I really love about this movie is the fact that we're following the little guy taking on the big guy, and that is where this movie absolutely has its shine. You see the highs and the lows of this guy create this following, but also have some personal things going on in his life. And the comedy in this movie is absolutely sharp. To one point or another, this movie is relatable to the big guys and the little guys because there are a lot of things that the big guys are able to relate to and a lot that the little guys are able to relate to as well. And really, the first thing that I did after watching this movie was go on Robinhood and see what the GameStop stock was at the point of watching that movie, and it made me get a little bit more invested in investing in a lot of more companies. At one point, I also thought about investing in AMC. But really, at the core of this movie, it's just a really strong and humane story about the little guys trying to be successful. And while there are things that you can take away from this movie, it is absolutely fantastic. This is a movie that I think you need to rush out and see in theater because the comedy is sharp, it runs at a steady pace, and there are some dramatic moments here and there that I was able to get attached to. And Seth Rogen as the CEO of Melvin Capital was absolutely fantastic. I think this is my favorite Seth Rogen performance since Steve Jobs. And I love it when he's able to dive into more serious roles because I think that is where a lot more comedy actors are able to shine. But overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Dumb Money an 8 out of 10. This movie was just absolutely fantastic. Definitely rush out and see it in theaters if you have not. But if you have seen the film, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know if you did enjoy this movie. And let me know, were you thinking about investing in GameStop?